Out here, fear is not weakness. Fear is the only thing keeping you alive. The peace will not last. It never does. Something is always waiting. The strike, when it comes, will come faster than thought. The morning transition is gradual enough to be missed, yet powerful enough to transform everything. Sunrise creates a brief season of its own between night and day. In this narrow interval, the plains are neither fully hidden nor fully exposed. The land holds its breath as the brightest edge of the sun approaches. When the sun finally appears, the horizon seems to open around it. The first direct light spreads rapidly once the sun rises above the land. Within moments, dark surfaces begin to warm and brighten. The color of the soil becomes richer under the low rays. Dry grass takes on a copper tone before returning to its ordinary color. Tree trunks glow on one side, while the opposite side remains in darkness. This sharp division between light and shade is strongest near sunrise. The low sun creates depth through contrast across the open country. Morning light reveals the texture of bark, dust, and weathered ground. The savanna's surfaces appear more detailed before the sun climbs higher. The vast scale of the savannah turns individual journeys into part of a larger story. The endless grasslands endure because they are capable of change. Every crossing contributes to the shape and use of the landscape. The plains function through these quiet and repeated interactions. The grasslands connect countless lives that may never encounter one another directly. One species changes the vegetation, creating opportunity for another. One journey opens a route that later becomes useful to many others. No single moment explains the life of the savannah. Its character is built through thousands of ordinary events unfolding across enormous distances. Every broad view contains smaller habitats hidden within the larger sweep of grass. Across the African savannah, the open plains remain a powerful symbol of space, resilience, and continuity. The African grasslands extend outward in every direction, creating a landscape where distance seems almost immeasurable. Open ground allows the eye to travel farther than the body could cross in a single day. The plains seem continuous, yet every section carries its own history of rain, fire, and movement. The landscape feels simple until closer observation reveals countless differences in height, color, and texture. From low ground, the horizon appears to rise from an endless floor of vegetation. The grasslands create a sense of openness that changes how every living creature uses the land. Wide spaces make even the smallest movement visible from surprisingly far away. The absence of dense forest allows sunlight to reach almost every part of the ground. Across these plains, space itself becomes one of the strongest features of the environment. They are at home in the vastness, small and calm and unafraid. They bend before the harsh seasons and rise again when the grass returns. There is peace in the sight of them, feeding quietly in the endless grass. They move like a soft current across the great stillness of the plain. They carry a quiet grace, born of patience and of belonging. They are the soft and living heart of the great open land. They grow lean when the plain grows dry, and wait patient for the green to return. They fill the plain with gentle life, and the plain is richer for them. They weather every hardship the plain can offer, and go on grazing still. They know hunger, and thirst, and fear, and still they carry on. They endure the hard seasons the only way they can by enduring. They survive not by strength, but by patience, and patience never fails them. When the plain turns harsh, they move on, trusting in better ground ahead. To see them scattered across the grass is to see the plain at peace. They endure what would break a lesser creature, and endure it quietly. Through lean times and plenty alike, they carry steadily on. They wait out the hard times with a patience deeper than any hardship. When the grass grows thin, they move, and the moving keeps them alive. They carry on through drought and plenty, faithful to the turning seasons. To watch them graze is to feel the world grow calm and slow. They grow thin, and they grow strong again, following the rhythm of the plain. They bend with the seasons rather than break, and so they always survive. They meet each hardship with the same quiet endurance, and it carries them through. During feeding, animals may spread widely. During danger, they compress. A subtle shift at one side can influence animals far across the group. This flexibility allows the herd to meet competing needs. Each member watches the reactions of those nearby. Social organization is one of the least visible forms of protection. Movement may begin with one individual and then spread through the group. The herd becomes coordinated through attention rather than language. This chain of observation allows information to travel quickly. Consensus can form without any obvious command. Such coordination reduces confusion when conditions change. Collective behavior emerges from many individual responses. These patterns are not accidental. Different ages, needs and temperaments can pull individuals in different directions. These small disagreements are part of herd life. The strongest bodies may occupy exposed positions while the young remain inside. Others evaluate the signal before joining. No single animal controls every decision. Yet the group is not perfectly unified. Some are eager to move, while others prefer to continue feeding. Group structure changes according to circumstance. Staying behind alone can carry greater risk than accepting the group's decision. Social pressure helps maintain cohesion. Once enough animals begin moving, the rest usually follow. Eventually, the majority creates momentum. Belonging to the herd offers benefits, but it also requires compromise. An individual cannot always choose the best place or the easiest route. The safety of numbers comes with shared limitations. The hunters endure fierce, patient and free beneath the vast and watching sky. They are shaped by the wild, and the wild is shaped by them in return. They are the wild's quiet reckoning, forever weighing life against need. The hunters live closer to the truth of things than any creature beside them. There is no pretense in them, only the bare and honest business of survival. They belong to a world without comfort, and they have never wished for more. The hunters are the price and the promise of a plain in balance. The hunters are the wild's oldest heartbeat, and it beats in them still. They are shaped by hunger into something magnificent and something feared. Nothing tames them, and nothing ever will, and that is their glory. Life as a hunter is shaped by long periods of waiting, interrupted by brief moments of action. Strength alone is never enough. Success also depends on judgment, experience, and restraint. Every hunt begins long before the chase, with careful observation of the surrounding landscape. Predators read movement, distance, wind and behavior before deciding whether to advance. The open plains offer visibility, but they also leave every approach exposed. To get close, a hunter must use grass, shadow, terrain, and silence to reduce the distance. Each step is measured, because one careless movement can end the opportunity. Most hunts fail, making every successful meal especially valuable. Energy must be conserved carefully in a world where food is never guaranteed. Across the African savannah, predators survive through patience, timing, and a constant awareness of opportunity. When the flood retreats, it leaves behind fresh sediment and new opportunity. During floods, water spreads beyond its usual boundaries and renews the nearby soil. Seasonal flooding creates fertile ground where plants can recover quickly. The savannah depends on both the arrival and the departure of water. Too little water creates scarcity, while too much can change familiar routes. Flooded ground may separate areas that were once easily connected. As levels fall, crossings and pathways slowly reappear. sound of moving water can carry through the surrounding grassland. Water can divide the landscape while also linking distant habitats. Soft currents reshape the banks a little more with each passing day. Calm sections, shallow edges, and deeper channels each support their own communities. Every bend in a river creates different conditions for life. Where moisture lingers, the landscape becomes denser and more varied. A single river can influence movement far beyond its visible banks. River corridors provide direction across the otherwise open plains. Animals often travel beside water, even when they do not stop to drink. Water creates small islands of abundance within a much drier world. By midday, the same water can become a bright and exposed mirror. The surface reflects the sky, but the real activity often continues below. Ripples may be the only sign that something has disturbed the water. Wind changes the surface from glassy calm to constant motion. Sunlight turns moving water into shifting patterns of brightness. At dawn, pools often hold the pale colours of the waking sky. Birds rely on insects, plants, water, trees, and other animals. Their presence can indicate that these natural connections remain active. When birds disappear, the change may reflect wider pressure on the land. Their movement is therefore more than a visual feature of the savannah. Birds help spread seeds, recycle nutrients, and regulate smaller animal populations. Their shadows pass over grass, water, trees, and moving herds. They connect different parts of the ecosystem through daily travel. Every flight carries energy and material from one place to another. The sky becomes a corridor through which the landscape is linked. Birds are among the most visible signs of that connection. For a moment, life above and below becomes part of the same scene. Every change in altitude opens a different view of the plains below. The sky may appear limitless, but every bird is responding to real boundaries. Food, weather, nesting space, and physical endurance shape how far it can go. Freedom in the air is always balanced by the need to return to the land. High above the grasslands, distance becomes easier to cross and danger easier to detect. Flight is not an escape from the ecosystem, but another way of living within it. Across the African savannah, birds and sky remain inseparable parts of the same living world. Across the savannah, the sky offers birds a vast, three-dimensional landscape with no visible roads. Cells expand, bark thickens, and roots explore new soil. Every living tree is active even when no movement can be seen. During favorable conditions, growth may accelerate. During hardship, the tree turns inward and protects what remains. The weather determines how much of that activity is possible. This flexibility allows long-lived plants to survive many different climates. Their apparent stillness hides constant adjustment. A mature tree may experience hundreds of storms during its lifetime. It may endure fire, drought, lightning, and physical damage. Each surviving season adds strength and complexity to its form. Trees survive by growing slowly enough to conserve resources. Their roots reflect the hidden structure of the soil. Their scars reveal past disturbance. Every part of the tree contains evidence of its environment. Their shape records exposure to wind and sunlight. Old trees become archives of the landscape. Across the African savannah, trees and weather remain locked in a continuous exchange. A direct strike may split wood, remove bark, or ignite fire. Some damaged trees survive and continue growing around the wound. Lightning can change that history in a single instant. Weather writes its history slowly across bark and branches. As the sky darkens, the reflected glow narrows across the surface. A tree that offered shade during the day may become shelter after sunset. The surface of a pool may hold the evening sky after the banks have turned dark. Water sources remain important landmarks as light begins to disappear. A still waterhole can preserve the last colour of day for several extra minutes. Dense grass becomes harder to read as shadows deepen. Rocky ground retains heat and releases it slowly into the reflections often appear brighter than the land surrounding them. Animals approaching to drink must rely more heavily on memory and caution. The edge between land and water becomes difficult to judge at twilight. Dark reflections can hide the true shape of the shoreline. Wind can erase a perfect reflection within seconds. reeds and branches become black lines against the water. Small ripples break the light into scattered fragments. Every splash becomes more noticeable in the growing silence. This low haze softens the last remaining light. The cooling air above water may create a thin layer of mist. The balance of life here is fragile, powerful, and endlessly complex. Every creature plays a role in keeping this ancient landscape alive. Every shadow, track, and distant call belongs to a story still unfolding. The Savannah teaches that even hardship can become part of renewal. The land may appear empty, but life is always present, just beyond view. Across these plains, survival is a journey without a final destination. Nothing remains unchanged, yet the greater cycle always continues. Life moves forward across the grasslands, one careful step at a time. The savannah is shaped by those who travel through it and by the forces that remain after they are gone. Every day brings new challenges, but also new chances to endure. The open horizon holds both uncertainty and possibility.